you poor little thing. Don't worry, I've got you now.
Ayla wasn't supposed to find him. She had a plan for that Saturday morning: wake up early, go for a walk, clear her head, come back and study. Simple, normal. Nothing was supposed to change. She tied her laces, grabbed her water bottle, put her earphones in, and stepped out into the cool morning air. The street was quiet. That peaceful kind of quiet that only exists before the world fully wakes up. A few birds. A shopkeeper pulling up his shutter. Sunlight just beginning to spill over the rooftops. She walked her usual route. Music playing. Mind slowly unwinding. Wasn't looking for anything. But then, she stopped. Underneath the broken steps of a closed shop, something moved. She pulled out one earphone. Stepped closer, crouched down, and there he was, a kitten. Barely the size of her fist. Orange and white, lying on his side on cold, bare concrete. His eyes were half shut. His tiny ribs were moving so fast, like his whole body was working overtime. Just to stay alive. No mother, no siblings, no one. Just him.
Oh, you
Alone,
poor
on a
little
street
thing.
that wasn't noticing him at all. Ayla didn't
Don't
move for a
worry,
moment.
I've got you
She
now.
looked around, hoping maybe the mother is nearby, maybe she just stepped away. She waited. She kept waiting. Nothing. She looked back down at him. He tried to lift his head. He couldn't. He opened his mouth, and no sound came out. Not even a whisper of a meow. Just that tiny mouth opening and closing, and those exhausted eyes looking up at her like he had already made peace with whatever was coming. Something cracked open inside her chest. "Okay," she whispered, her voice barely holding. "I've got you." She took off the jacket tied around her waist and wrapped him in it, slowly, gently, like he was made of something that could shatter. He was so light, terrifyingly light, just a few grams of warmth and a heartbeat that was trying so hard. She held him against her chest and walked home. Her walk was over. Something far more important had just begun. Nobody tells you the unglamorous part of rescue. Ayla sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor for what felt like forever, holding a small syringe, pressing the tiniest drops of warm goat's milk onto his lips and just praying. Praying he would swallow. Praying he would respond. Praying that heartbeat would keep going. The first few times, he turned his head away. She tried again. Quietly. Patiently. And then that small pink tongue came out. She exhaled like she had been holding her breath for hours. Because honestly, she had been. That night, she folded her softest old shirt into a tiny nest, tucked a warm water bottle inside to mimic a mother's warmth, placed him gently in the center, and set it right beside her bed. She set alarms through the night to feed him. She woke up every single time without complaining, warmed the milk, held the syringe to his lips, watched him swallow, whispered "good boy" into the dark, and went back to sleep. She didn't do it because someone told her to. She did it because he needed her too. And that was enough of a reason. The change didn't happen all at once. It never does. It was gradual, quiet, beautiful in the most understated way. First his eyes started opening a little more each day. Those tiny amber eyes, blinking slowly at the world like he was seeing it for the first time and deciding if he trusted it. Then his paws started moving, little stretches, like he was testing whether his body still belonged to him. And then one afternoon, while Ayla was sitting on the floor beside him doing absolutely nothing important, he meowed. It was the smallest sound she had ever heard. Thin as thread, soft as a sigh. But it was real, and it filled that quiet room completely, and Ayla just froze. Then she laughed. The real kind. The kind that comes bursting out from somewhere deep and relieved and overwhelmingly grateful. The kind you can't plan or perform. It just happens. She reached out and let him sniff her finger. He did. Then he bumped his tiny head against it, and that was it. That was the moment.
Oh,
She
you're
was
so
completely,
tiny.
utterly done for, in the best
Don't worry,
possible
little
way.
one.
His name
I'll
became
help
Zesty.
you.
And Zesty, once he found his strength, turned out to have the most enormous personality packed into the smallest body. He declared war on Ayla's shoelaces. and attacked them with great seriousness every single morning, as if daring her to react. He would sprint across the room at full speed for absolutely no reason, crash headfirst into a pillow, shake himself off with complete dignity, and immediately do it again. Ayla would sit at her desk trying to study and just end up watching him instead. Watching him explore. Watching him play. Watching him live, loudly, joyfully, like every single moment was worth throwing himself into completely, and she would feel something she hadn't expected when she picked him up off that cold street. Not just happiness. Fullness. Like something had quietly slipped into place inside her life without making any noise about it. She hadn't done anything extraordinary. She knew that. No special skills, no training, no grand plan, just a jacket, some warm milk, some sleepless nights, and one decision, made in a single quiet moment on an ordinary empty street, to not keep walking. That's all it was. That's all it took. She looked at Zesty one evening, sprawled dramatically across her lap, purring so loud it vibrated through her whole leg, one tiny paw resting on her hand like he was making sure she wasn't going anywhere, and she thought, I almost didn't stop. She thought about how easy it would have been to tell herself someone else would help, to keep her earphones in, to think it wasn't her problem, to just walk past. And then she looked down at this ridiculous, wonderful, loud, alive little creature snoring on her lap, and she was so glad, so deeply, quietly glad that she stopped.